journey, it actually begins early on when we are born. And it's a journey that has many markers. We're born. We learn to walk. We ride a bike. We go to school. We get a car. We graduate school. We may go on to a job, higher learning. We get married, have kids. Then at some point, kids leave home. We're empty nesters. Dear God, what are we going to do 24/7 together now? We move on. All of a sudden, our parents die. And we realize, I'm next. The world continues to maybe reach a point that at some point we need assistance, and then it may end. In the future, the thing when you're doing predictions in many ways is, it's a guess. With our future of aging, we know the end point. And the question is, what will that journey look like? But what I'm here to tell you today is, if you do your part, with what we're seeing in the world today, you will live a much better life. There are thoughts out there that with aging, 10 to 25% is genetics, and 75 to 90% is your environment. And if I would have been giving this TED Talk in 1950, there's a good chance I would have been at the end of my life. Because average life expectancy then was in the late 40s to the early 50s. But today in the world, people are living longer. According to the World Health Organization, by 2025, the average life expectancy in every country will be 50 years old. And people 60 years and older will go from 900 million in 2015 to over 2 billion people by 2050. And in the United States, where by the end of today, 10,000 people will turn 65. With our baby boomers and our Generation Xers, and there's 74 million of them, but when we talk about the millennials, what we don't know is there's even more of them, at over 75 million before immigration. So imagine what aging will look like in 30 years, with the oldest of them being 34, when they turn 65. So the future of aging will look different just because there's going to be so many more of us. I'm here to tell you, if you're older, you are cool. We're simply going to outnumber all the young people. And with advancements that are going on with medicine and technology, our futures look very bright. With medical technology doubling from 50 years in 1950 to 7 years in 1980, 3.5 years in 2010, and projections of 73 days by 2020. Amazing things are coming. Nanotechnology, nanocircuitry, stem cell and genetic engineering are going to create amazing advancements for aging. If any of you ever remember the movie from Michael Bay in 2005, The Island, the premise of it was individuals would pay to have clones made. And then when you needed a body part, they harvested it from the clone. The good news is the clones don't have to worry. With the advent of 3D printing, in our future, if you need a kidney, it'll be printed. You need a liver, we'll print it for you. Regenerative healing, knees, hips, whatever it may be, will simply remake it for you. And these advancements are showing up with investments in the billions. Companies like Apple, Google, Johnson & Johnson, and other giants are investing billions of dollars. And listen to this. The FDA now recognizes aging as a disorder. A disorder that can be treated, and there are people predicting we could live another 100 years. You might live to be 150. And in our lifetimes, even today, we will see many of these advancements. Regenerative hearing, or hearing tied into your smartphone. And then if we layer on top of that, the advancements with technology, if you remember the bionic man and the bionic woman, amazing things will happen. But imagine driverless vehicles. Well, it scares us now. Just think of a world where a 75-year-old does not have to worry about getting stuck on a roundabout. Imagine you don't have to go to your parents and say it's time to take the license away. You're not safe driving. Or you are not identified by the type of vehicle you drive. If you own a 2003 Buick LeSabre and you're a youth, it's okay. Or with drones, what that will mean for individuals who may not be able to get out. The stuff can simply come to them. Or, as we look at the idea potentially with sight in the future, bionic eyes. What could that mean for individuals who are concerned about losing their sight as they age? Or could you imagine a world without walkers, wheelchairs, or canes? Who would not want that world? We simply will outfit you with an exoskeleton. If you look right now, these are being tested in the military. The idea of helping individuals. But imagine a world where individuals no longer have steps as their barriers. Who wouldn't want that world? The idea of insoles in your shoes that will help with balance. Or work that's currently going on with toilets. Your toilet will actually become one of the highest tech items in your house. It will measure output. It will be able to pick up if individuals maybe are having urinary tract infections. Or people who flush it in the morning, it'll become a signal to let individuals know that they're safe. And if that toilet's not flushed, it will tell you something. Refrigerators that will help us to be able to see what people are eating or maybe not eating. Your garbage can is actually one of your best sources of information for people as they age. If you visit your parents and the garbage can is empty, it tells you something. What is in there tells you a lot of things. And with technology, we're going to know this. But with all these advancements, it'll provide great opportunities and great challenges. Some of the greatest opportunities is we are going to start breaking down stereotypes. I don't understand why you turn 40, you are over the hill. And you're considered to start to be aging. That, in the future, will maybe be 60, or even worse yet, AARP at 50. It's just wrong. It's something that your children can use to torment you with. What if that was delayed until you're 70? Who here wouldn't want that world? And if you could live to be 100 plus years old, would you? Interesting enough, when I ask people, their first response is, no, I don't want to live that long. But what if you could? When you've heard the other speakers here today with the challenges we face today, what if you could live to be 180? Maybe you could see if we could come up with world peace. Maybe we'd have the knowledge, know-how, and tenacity to deal with social issues today because there'd be enough of us. What if we find out there are other people from other worlds? Would you do it? And what we have an opportunity to learn is with all these opportunities, there'll be challenges. And we can learn this from a world stage. Evergreen, the organization I'm with, has been doing work to assist people in China. And right there we can see where there have been unintentional consequences with decisions that have been made. The one-child policy. In 1979, they were not thinking ahead to how it would affect the culture where the expectation is children will take care of their parents. And in China, children pay for their parents' care. It is an expectation. It's called filial piety. But imagine you are a Chinese couple. You have 4 parents, 8 grandparents, and you're expected to care for all 12. So we've been doing work there trying to help them build skilled nursing and assisted living. But the effects on their culture have been tremendous. Wealth distribution now is being passed to one individual. Great distortions with wealth. Or there's an estimation there will be 30 to 35 million more Chinese men by 2030 than Chinese women of marrying age. How are they going to care for all these individuals? So now parents actually can sue their children in China. If a child does not visit their parent or meet their duty to care or filial piety, they can be sued. So kids, beware. Take care of your parents. Or if you look at the challenges with how will we care for all these people? Where will we find people? We can see that with Japan, where they're predicting by 2030, 1 in 3 individuals will be over the age of 65, and 1 in 5 will be over 70. So when we heard our earlier speaker about robots on the farm, Oh, no, sorry, I got to come back to, actually, I'll come back to this instead. Here's the other things I want to let you know about aging that will be different. If you Google the idea of aging, we look at things like you should be knitting, bingo, building models, crocheting. Boring. Instead, how about we're on the water ski team in our 80s? Better yet, in our 90s, we got our GoPro camera on, and we're scaring the dickens out of the kids back home as we're skydiving. Or for some of us in here, we're training for our Ironman in our 90s. But again, coming back to this idea of how are we going to care for all these people, maybe one of our solutions will be robots. The Japanese are experimenting with robots right now. And imagine a robot. It never gets tired. It can hear the same conversation over and over and over again. And it won't say stop. Imagine this world. These are being developed. This is in our future with our aging. But the caution I want to let us know is imagine this world now. And in a society such as America, where the number one thing people say is, I want to remain in my home. A culture now where a quarter of the population is choosing to remain to be single. That in your home you can have a robot, Astro, your own dog. You have the ability to not worry about driving because you can go anywhere you want or just have it simply brought to you. You can watch TED Talks virtual. You don't even have to go. We could actually, if we are not careful, we could create a world with whole new issues. Issues of people being isolated and not having purpose. Imagine a world where people no longer talk to one another. And isolation kills people. It actually is one of the greatest killers of people. I've always asked people, even if you could live in the Taj Mahal, at some point your world gets small. And keeping people connected it's physical. Because you know what we all need? We need friends. And in our country, a challenge we have is people have fewer friends. Because you know what friends do for you? They tell you this, it will be okay. And that's what we need as we look at our future of aging, is the idea that we will be okay. And we need purpose. In Japan, there's a saying called ikigai, which means the reason I wake up in the morning. We have to continue to help individuals find their ikigai, because imagine now with all these people living longer, does that mean now instead of retiring at 65 because you only expect to live till you're 80, now you have to retire at 90 because you're living to be 100? How much more will I have to save? What does that mean for younger generations coming up? What will their jobs look like in the future? But imagine this world, if we use this valuable resource, a world where now you have 1,000+ master gardeners in a community. Imagine what they could do. A world where there are abundant volunteers to work in our schools, providing one-to-one mentorships for people. Remember, 2 billion people. All these people, what are we going to do with them? A world where when we talk about issues of global climate change, having the know-how and the resources to deal with it, it's actually here in front of us. It's all of you as you age. The challenge is, how do we make sure that we do it in a way that we remain connected and we always find purpose? Because here's what happens is, in the end, it all ends the same. And this is what I leave you with, and I wish you all, is that at some point, whether it's a friend, a family member,